We are going to spend a little bit of time talking about currency conversions. And if you're using the Ivy Tech workbook, this lies on page 160. If you just want to talk about this in general and up-to-date currency conversions, you really just go to the internet. Now, the currency conversions, so like how much is a dollar worth compared to, say, the Indian rupee or the Chinese yuan, you can go in there and go to the internet and it'll give you an up-to-date piece. But we're going to use old ones. I don't even know what year this is from. So this is from our currency page. Now the big idea, and let me back up, in our piece, so let's just say the euro, just to explain what this means. First it says in US dollars, and the second column says per 1 US dollar. And the numbers are 0.9825 and 1.0178. The reason I want to talk about this is because we get identity ratios, right? So when we are thinking about a euro in US dollars, so that means we would have in US dollars, so 0.9825 US dollars is 1 euro. That's what this first one means. Okay, so in US dollars means this thing is US dollars. For the second one, where it says per 1 US dollar, remember that per means fraction bar. So 1 US dollars in the bottom. That means 1.0178 is the euro. So depending on what you need in the numerator, what you need in the denominator, you use a different identity ratio. Okay, so let's do a couple of examples. You have $500. How many pesos is that? Okay, so first things first, we start with 500 US dollars. So knowing how to do conversions, we know that we need US dollars in the bottom. So that means we're going to use the second column. We're going to use the per 1 US dollar column, and we're going to use the Mexican peso. So per 1 US dollar is 20.4440 pesos. So this makes my dollars cancel out. I multiply straight across, and I end up with an answer, once I can find it, of 10,222 pesos. So $500 is the same as over 10,000 pesos. It's pretty straightforward. Let's do a harder one. You have 90,000 rupees. So that's from India. How many? One. And that takes us to China. Well, from our table that we have, we cannot go from Indian rupees to Chinese yuan. We have to make an intermediate step at the US dollar. So we start with our 90,000 rupees. Okay, so now to get rid of those, I need rupees in the bottom. So I can do in US dollars. So I know that $0.0126 is 1 Indian rupee, right? This is the first column because it's in US dollars. Now that allows us to get out of Indian rupees, but now we're in US dollars, which is not helpful because we want to be in the Chinese yuan. So now we're going to use per US dollar. So now we're going to use the second column and compare the US dollar to the Chinese yuan, and that means we have 6.6945. So this gets us out of US dollars into the Chinese yuan that we want to be in. So we multiply straight across. 90,000 times 0.0126 times 6.6945, and we end up with an answer 7,592. I'm just going to round to the nearest. And that's where we are. So that's kind of a quick idea of how to play around. If you use the internet, you might be able to find a conversion where you type in numbers and it does it for you, but always good to know how the math works.